Hadīth 1. Narrated on us, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Medina is a sanctuary from that place to that. Its trees should not be cut, and no heresy should be innovated nor any sin should be committed in it, and whoever innovates in it an heresy or commits sins, bad deeds, then he will incur the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people. Hadīth 2. Narrated on us, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, came to Medina and ordered a mosque to be built and said, O Bani Najjar, suggest to me the price of your land. They said, we do not want its price except from Allah, that is, they wished for a reward from Allah for giving up their land freely. So, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, ordered the graves of the pagans to be dug out and the land to be leveled, and the date palm trees to be cut down. The cut date palms were fixed in the direction of the Qibla of the mosque. Hadīth 3. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, I have made Medina a sanctuary between its two, Harat, mountains. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, went to the tribe of Bani Haritha and said, to them, I see that you have gone out of the sanctuary, but looking around, he added, no, you are inside the sanctuary. Hadīth 4. Narrated Ali, we have nothing except the book of Allah and this written paper from the Prophet, wherein is written, Medina is a sanctuary from the Ar mountain to such and such a place, and whoever innovates in it an heresy or commits a sin, or gives shelter to such an innovator in it will incur the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people, none of his compulsory or optional good deeds of worship will be accepted. And the asylum, of protection, granted by any Muslim is to be secured, respected, by all the other Muslims, and whoever betrays a Muslim in this respect incurs the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people, and none of his compulsory or optional good deeds of worship will be accepted, and whoever, freed slave, befriends, take his masters, other than his manumitters without their permission incurs the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people, and none of his compulsory or optional good deeds of worship will be accepted. Hadīth 5. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, I was ordered to migrate to a town which will swallow, conquer, other towns and is called Yathrib, and that is Medina, and it turns out, bad, persons as a furnace removes the impurities of iron. Hadīth 6. Narrated Abu Humayd, we came with the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, from Tabuk, and when we reached near Medina, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, this is Taba. Hadīth 7. Narrated Abu Hurairah, if I saw deers grazing in Medina, I would not chase them, for Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Medina is a sanctuary between its two mountains. Hadīth 8. Narrated Abu Hurairah, I heard Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, the people will leave Medina in spite of the best state it will have, and none except the wild birds and the beasts of prey will live in it, and the last persons who will die will be two shepherds from the tribe of Muzayna, who will be driving their sheep towards Medina, but will find nobody in it, and when they reach the valley of Thaniyat al-Wada, they will fall down on their faces dead. Hadīth 9. Narrated Sufyan bin Abu Zuhair, I heard Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, Yemen will be conquered, and some people will migrate, from Medina, and will urge their families, and those who will obey them to migrate, to Yemen, although Medina will be better for them, if they but knew. Sham will also be conquered, and some people will migrate, from Medina, and will urge their families and those who will obey them, to migrate, to Sham, although Medina will be better for them, if they but knew. Iraq will be conquered, and some people will migrate, from Medina, and will urge their families and those who will obey them to migrate, to Iraq, although Medina will be better for them, if they but knew. Hadīth 10. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Verily, belief returns and goes back to Medina as a snake returns and goes back to its hole, when in danger. Hadīth 11. Narrated Sa'd, I heard the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, none plots against the people of Medina but that he will be dissolved, destroyed, like the salt is dissolved in water. Hadith 12. Narrated Usama, once the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, stood at the top of looked out from upon one castle amongst the castles, or the high buildings, of Medina and said, do you see what I see? No doubt, I see the spots where afflictions will take place among your houses, and these afflictions will be, as numerous as the spots where raindrops fall. Hadith 13. Narrated Abu Bakr, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the terror caused by Al-Masih Ad-Dajjal will not enter Medina, and at that time Medina will have 7 gates and there will be 2 angels at each gate guarding them. Hadith 14. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, there are angels guarding the entrances, or roads, of Medina, neither plague nor Ad-Dajjal will be able to enter it. Hadith 15. Narrated Anas bin Malik, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, there will be no town which Ad-Dajjal will not enter except Makkah and Medina, and there will be no entrance, road, of both Makkah and Medina, but the angels will be standing in rows guarding it against him, and then Medina will shake with its inhabitants thrice, that is, 3 earthquakes will take place, and Allah will expel all the non-believers and the hypocrites from it. Hadith 16. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, told us a long narrative about Ad-Dajjal, and among the many things he mentioned, was his saying, Ad-Dajjal will come and it will be forbidden for him to pass through the entrances of Medina. He will land in some of the salty barren areas, outside Medina. On that day the best man or one of the best men will come up to him and say, I testify that you are the same Dajjal whose description was given to us by Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Ad-Dajjal will say to the people, if I kill this man and bring him back to life again, will you doubt my claim? They will say, no. Then Ad-Dajjal will kill that man and bring him back to life. That man will say, now I know your reality better than before. Ad-Dajjal will say, I want to kill him but I cannot. Hadith 17. Narrated Jabir, a Bedouin came to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and gave a pledge of allegiance for embracing Islam. The next day he came with fever and said, to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, please cancel my pledge, of embracing Islam and of emigrating to Medina. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, refused that request 3 times and said, Medina is like a furnace, it expels out the impurities, bad persons, and selects the good ones and makes them perfect. Hadith 18. Narrated Zayd bin Thabit, when the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, went out for the battle of Uhud, some of his companions, hypocrites, returned home. A party of the believers remarked that they would kill those hypocrites who had returned, but another party said that they would not kill them. So, this divine inspiration was revealed. Then what is the matter with you that you are divided into 2 parties concerning the hypocrites? Surah 4, Ayah 88. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Medina expels the bad persons from it, as fire expels the impurities of iron. Hadith 19. Narrated Anas, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, O Allah, bestow on Medina twice the blessings you bestowed on Makkah. Hadith 20. Narrated Anas, whenever the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, returned from a journey and observed the walls of Medina, he would make his mount go fast, and if he was on an animal, that is, a horse, he would make it gallop because of his love for Medina. Hadith 21. Narrated Anas, the people of Bani Salamah intended to shift near the mosque of the Prophet, but Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, disliked to see Medina vacated and said, O the people of Bani Salamah, don't you think that you will be rewarded for your footsteps which you take towards the mosque? So, they stayed at their old places. Hadith 22. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "There is a garden from the gardens of paradise between my house and my pulpit is on my lake fount, al-Kawthar." Hadīth 23. Narrated Aisha, when Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, reached Medina, Abu Bakr and Bilal became ill. When Abu Bakr's fever got worse, he would recite this poetic verse: "Everybody is staying alive with his people, yet death is nearer to him than his shoelaces." And Bilal, when his fever deserted him, would recite, "Would that I could stay overnight in a valley wherein I would be surrounded by idkir and jaleel, kinds of good-smelling grass. Would that one day I could drink the water of the Majannah, and would that the two mountains, Shama and Tafil, would appear to me." The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "O Allah, curse Shaybah bin Rabi'ah and Utbah bin Rabi'ah and Umayyah bin Khalaf, as they turned us out of our land to the land of epidemics." Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, then said, "O Allah, make us love Medina as we love Makkah, or even more than that. O Allah, give blessings in our sa and our mud, measures symbolizing food, and make the climate of Medina suitable for us, and divert its fever towards Al-Jufa." Aisha added, "When we reached Medina, it was the most unhealthy of Allah's lands, and the valley of Buthan, the valley of Medina, used to flow with impure colored water." Hadīth 24. Narrated Zayd bin Aslam from his father, Umar said, "O Allah, grant me martyrdom in your cause, and let my death be in the city of your apostle."